Alright guys, so we're back and we're going to be going through bomb site B next, which is, B's a tricky site. Usually when I play T-side cache, I try to go B a lot because, I think that it's a tough battle to take initially, but then once you get control of B main, it's kind of fun to mess with the CTs because you can do a lot from B main without ever having to actually see the CTs. You can have one guy in B main by himself hold 2 CTs, possibly 3, over here by just making noise, being annoying, throwing utility while the rest of your team executes on A. So if you're a lurker and you like kind of doing that kind of stuff, of being a little bit annoying to the other team, drawing their attention, and by all means it could be a complete fake. You could have the bomb for all it matters, just depending on how your team plays. But basically we're going to go over some B side executes. I actually do not like going B for pistol round. I think it's a very readable strat. I think that it's what everyone assumes. On CT side cache, I like doing a 1-1-3 strat. I like to 3 stack B, 1 mid, 1 fast peek A main. A main by Molotov. Mid is the kit flash guy, and then on B they can buy whatever they want. But basically, I think that a lot of people, especially at lower ranks, I think they like going B on pistol because it's just rush B. It's always rush B. So with B, we'll start, all the way back here. Basically, if you fear some aggression from CTs, like even on, on gun rounds, whatever, you can boost up on this little stop sign just before I leave T-spawn and forget about it. Whatever, it's not a stop sign, it's something else. Oh, it is a stop sign. Basically jump on the first one, up on the second, and then you can hold a B main aggression or aggro B players, and you can hold this so long. And if you do this enough times, eventually the CTs will learn that they cannot push B main, that there is no flank available, or no big flank available to them, that they have to go through vent, they have to boost through vent, which is not a self boost. You need a teammate to go through vent, or they have to rotate safely through A main. So again, you can easily handle any B aggression. You can also, if you get sunroom control and you're able to cross over, once you're here, this is a very hard angle, or it's a difficult spot for CT to clear, and they have to hard clear it. Unless they're going to waste a flash on clearing sunroom, basically you can hold back in here for any kind of push or any aggro that they may have, which is nice. In terms of getting into sunroom, it is tough because this fight is completely spawn dependent. On the T's generally, you'll be able to get here, unless you have a really bad spawn. But the CTs, if it's the right combination of somebody that's good with an op or a scout, and they have a good spawn, and they get here in time to be able to take this fight, yeah, they can definitely kill you. It's not even like a hard thing for them to do. It's just purely spawn based. So if they get there fast enough, so sometimes unfortunately you do have to waste one of your flashes just to cross, and that's not even gonna be good enough. So I like to stop right here and do like a double click kind of flash. Or sorry, that was a bad one. I should run further. Basically to pop right in front of B main, to blind anyone that is peeking this angle. Unfortunately, they will see the flash. So they can unscope and turn and rescope, but usually that's enough time for you to get by, because after you throw it, you can just immediately just get over. It's not even a problem really. So once you get in here, it is kind of a little bit tricky because they could be playing checkers, or they could be playing an aggro checkers. That you then do have to kind of jiggle these corners a little bit, just depending on how aggressive the CTs are playing. So that's one way to do it. Some people like to throw this Molotov. I don't. I think it's kind of pointless. I think that's only important if you know that they're going to be pushing. Still, I don't think it's that great. Let me see here. Don't waste a smoking this. If the CTs are dumb enough to gift you a smoke right here to let you cross into checkers, Be careful, because if that smoke is there, or if you smoke that, just be careful that you may be accidentally baiting CTs into peeking checkers if they want to, you know, get a like an op shot off and fall away. So you may, if that gets smoked, you may want to have your op hold this spot before you actively try to move that way, because they can easily peek and get, you know, at least a collat if you guys are, you know, not careful. So that being said, yes, then sometimes CTs will throw this smoke, where it's basically they smoke the corner, where they're trying to maintain this control, or at least as much of the control as they can. That way they can, you know, get in here, play gay spots. Because that's the thing, is that there are a lot of really difficult spots to deal with when clearing checkers in B main. But anyway, so if you get here, if you get control, one of the first things you want to do, you do want to break that glass. Even if you're not throwing any utility, break the glass. It lets them know that somebody's over here. It's the very first thing. You should be doing it every round. You don't even have to do it from there. You can, if you don't want to cross in the sunroom, just you know, spam a Glock. A Glock through this glass will break that glass. You don't need a deagle or a rifle or anything. So just always break the glass every round that you have. That way you have some B presence. This is not really a shot that they're going to hit where, you know, they're peeking over and hitting your head or anything. But this is one of the most common smokes for B, and it's one of the most useful. You jump up on this ledge, tuck yourself into this corner, and you're going to aim right for this circle right here.
Throwing smoke.
Just a throw. And it smokes off CT spawn or tree room, whatever you want to call it. It looks like the round's about to end anyway, so I might have to restart this one. But basically that's going to be a smoke for CT.
Counter-terrorists win. Let's go.
Okay. So you have your CT spawn smoke, which I'll do again. Out here, I'll show you that. Listen. You hear the glass breaking. Okay, so CT spawn smoke. Again, right in that circle. Just a throw. Now what we're going to go over is a few variations of Molotovs. So if you have a Molly strat, if your IGL calls Molly strat B, you can throw like this. You can, from the same spot after you throw this. This is one of my favorite strats, by the way. I love it. Just aim kind of right at the bottom of this. Left to right doesn't matter so much, but basically like right around there, maybe a little bit higher. Just throw. It's going to be a basic, very basic molly for headshot and this kind of backside area behind the triple. So that's a basic molly there. Now you can do a few other variations. You can hop up real quick, just a real quick jump crouch, and then just throw kind of like in this area. Yeah, I mean, again, this doesn't have to be exact. They're Molotovs. And that's going to throw a little bit deeper. You have the option to throw it a little bit deeper without it exploding too early. And I don't really care for this last Molotov because it can be a little bit difficult. It's a run throw where you just
incendiary out.
Yeah, mess it up. But I don't care for it.
Throwing fire.
Alright, well this one is possible, but again, I don't recommend it. Just like...
Incendiary.
Guess I'll get it eventually.
Incendiary.
Maybe I'm aiming too high is what it is.
Incendiary out.
There.
Throwing fire.
Okay, well whatever. It's like I said, it doesn't matter because it's a sucky smoke or sucky Molotov because when it hits, it lands just down there and it does not burn up here. It only burns headshot, and it doesn't. So basically, anyone can just jump right up off of here, and basically, your teammates can assume that headshot is clear. In actuality, he's just hiding right off a headshot. So I don't really recommend that one, anyways. So Molly strat, really fun. Line up with these nails right here. Just aim right in the middle of this like Lego block looking thing. Just throw.
Incendiary out.
Molly back sight, which is wonderfully useful, especially on ecos. To Molly strat B is a good anti-eco. And on the other side, you just line up with the same nails. Basically line up with your teammate. Throw at this Lego block thing.
Incendiary.
That's going to molly behind first oranges in this kind of front sight area. So again, basically a Molly strat B. Molly there. Molly there. Molly there. So the molly's essentially the entire site in headshot, with slight exception, depending on, you know, how the molly's spread. You know, if they happen to have somebody playing on the generator, which may not get mollied, or if they have, you know, if somebody jumps up on a box back here, which won't get mollied, or if they happen to be, oddly enough, if they happen to be up here, just coincidentally boosting to look into sunroom, then they won't get mollied, obviously, or if they're playing on top of first oranges, they will not get mollied. But basically, it's a nice anti-eco mollies to get the CTs out from behind corners, or if you think for some reason they're packing CZs and 5.7s and are not taking distance fights. So those are those Molotovs. If you have B main control, and this is smoked off, and you think that okay they're going to be playing like a gay spot or whatever, you can molly back here. You're out there. You can clear Doja. Clear back here. Under vent. You can clear back checkers. Some other smokes. You can smoke Heaven, which I think that didn't go far enough. You want to run a little bit farther. That smokes off Heaven, which is essential. In a B execute, you're always going to want to smoke off Heaven as well as Tree Room. In Tree Room, you can smoke a few different ways. You can smoke it like this. That was a bad one. But basically, because there's a gap there. This is like a run throw for Tree Room, which this is why I kind of don't like this one, because it's so inaccurate, and that's why I always just prefer this one. It's just so consistent. Well, I say that, and you actually can mess this one up. Let's see if I did. No, I didn't. But sometimes, if you look, it has to hit on this quadrant of this missile thing, whatever it is that holds these things, these canisters. If it hits on top, it's just going to bounce up and land right kind of like in this area, or if it hits on this backside, it's going to bounce the other way. So it has to hit on that quadrant. So it does have to be exact, but it's a lot more consistent than a run throw. So that's you know, Heaven smoked, and Tree smoked, and then if you've mollied back checkers, once you molly back checkers, just so you know, you don't have to throw 2 Molotovs back there. If you're nading back checkers, you do have to throw 2 nades to kill anyone. But if you molly it, he either gets out of there and runs, in which case you kill him, or he smokes himself off, then you know that he's there, or he dies. So, you know, whatever. Same here. If somehow they have a CT playing an event, which is really weird, you still would need to kind of hard clear it, just kind of like this. Usually that's not a thing, though, that they would have 3B with 1 invent, although sometimes if you're playing 1-3-1, they'll have CTs will have a guy playing an event, playing mid, that he can easily help. So you do have to be careful with that if you happen to notice that they are playing a 1-3-1. So those are some basic, some very basic utility. Some people do like to molly snack spot here, and I don't think you need to do that, because you can just clear it right there. If you come here, hard clear it, you can't hide. Like nobody can hide from there. You just clear it. Just have to remember to clear it. Pop flashes. Very easy.
Flashbang. Throwing flashbang.
I'll show you. Except for a guy in Heaven, you should blind most people. Should blind a headshot guy. Should blind a sight guy. Won't really blind checkers guy though, so you do have to be careful. Let's see what else we have here. We can switch to CT side in a second. So I showed you guys this one, run throw to block off. Basically B main. Sorry, that was a little bit bad. You want to angle a little bit better. Never, as a CT, you never want to smoke this entrance, the B main entrance, because that's just asking them to get into checkers. Even if you think you're trying to be smart and bait them into checkers, it's just not a good idea. Because essentially what you've given them B main control, and you've given them checkers control. Unless you have a guy in checkers. Cool little flash. If you kind of line up right here, line up.
Deploying flashbang.
Nice pop flash. You don't really have to turn. I just turn out of habit.
Flashbang.
It's going to blind anyone in B main. And it's hard to see coming. This one is extremely inconsistent, but I'll try it anyways.
Deploying flashbang.
Well, that time it worked, but basically I bounced it. I did the run crouch, you know, bang against the ground. It did pop up above, And it is good because they're not going to be expecting a flashbang like that. So they do have somebody playing back checkers. So you can do that. I used to have some back here, like if you wanted to,
Laying down smoke.
like smoke checkers, like that. Like if you're on site, just aim kind of like right there. Actually, I think it's like kind of like right there.
Throwing
The better
smoke.
one. It's just a regular throw, and it'll smoke off checkers, and then you can just molly it just the same.
Incendiary out.
Oh, actually, no. That's right, because I'm on higher ground. I forgot that it's going to travel further. You just aim a little bit lower for the molly protection. Yeah, how low? But you, unfortunately, you do have to clear it over. You have to clear it over this thing. Still too far. Well, I guess you can just alternate. But I think that I developed a molly that landed kind of like right out in front of the smoke. Anyways, what else?
Throwing flashbang.
I don't think that that's a good one. Just from sight, like smoking that off again, inviting them to go into checkers. If you are up here tucked in the corner in heaven, crouching, you can just throw, kind of just like if you kind of make an imaginary box right here. Kind of like throw right in the middle. Just if like, that's only important. I guess I should say you should know those smokes for retake. Because if you're able to smoke off B main while retaking, it allows your basically your tree room guys to that they can focus on sight and just kind of like they'll have to worry about under heaven too, but they won't have to worry about B main, which is nice. I don't really like this smoke. I think it leaves too many gaps on both left and right. So basically that's another B main smoke if you just need to kind of get into sight real quick. Let's see what else. There are a couple flashes. Again, I'm not really going over flashes too much. That's pretty much it for standard B stuff. Not really too much else to go over. Heaven. Of course, everyone should know how to like nade backside.
Throwing a grenade.
How to nade backside like way back there. Or molly back there. Mollying back there is really easy.
Incendiary out.
Molotoving, if you think that if they planted not backside, but if a teammate happened to see that they planted right here, which it basically this is default. This is a safe plant. This is first oranges. This is front sight. Planted for like checkers B main, and then this is kind of like another safe plant. I really just don't know what to call it. But basically it's kind of like back right sight behind triple. You can Molotov it if you get on these boxes. You just kind of aim like I think it's right for the B.
Incendiary.
No, it's a little bit above the B. That's what it is.
Throwing fire.
You can kind of clear out that spot right there. I know you don't want to, in case if you know that they planted it there and they haven't moved, it can force them off. Especially if you're retaking with an op, that's really helpful. Like if you need to.
Throwing fire.
And you know that they're gonna jump out and jump back there. It's unlikely that they're gonna jump out a headshot where they have no cover. It's just instinct that you'll just kind of try to jump back here. That's basically it. That's B site. Anything else I'll post with updates and we'll go from there. But that's basically it for B site executes and defense on cache. Again, there's plenty other things that you can do with regards to how you want to kind of play. Like I like playing an aggressive.
Throwing smoke. Flashbang.
Flash right through the smoke and take this fight with M4A4, not A1S. You do want to delay a little bit on the flash. Other than that, everyone take care. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.